Welcome to Harness Up with Haste Draft Horses and Mules, where we talk all things related to these magnificent animals. From their history and uses to training and care, we cover it all. Join us as we chat with experts and enthusiasts in the field, share stories and tips, and explore the world of draft horses and mules. Whether you're a seasoned owner or just curious about these gentle giants, this podcast is for you. So harness up and join Haste Draft Horses and Mules for some lively discussions about these God-given creatures.
Howdy, folks. Stephen Haste here with Harness Up Podcast with Haste Draft Horses and Mules. Boy, hope everybody's doing good, and Merry Christmas to everybody. I got the Christmas color on and the wreath in the background, so I'm trying here, all right? But thank you all so much. God bless you for coming on, listening to these podcasts. It means the world for us, and we sure appreciate you. Without you all listening, there'd be no reason to even record one. So, all right here, looking at me here on the other side of this screen, I'm getting used to these remote podcasts, and it's working real good. This is Mr. Randy Melton. Randy, say hello to the folks there.
Hello, folks there.
Me and Randy go way back. How far, Randy? What?
Gosh.
17?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. I sold Randy some mules, and several mules, actually. Talked
Several
on the
teams.
phone to him a whole lot, and was actually all the way at his house and didn't even get to meet him face to face, then shake his hand. And still till today, we've never met and shook each other's hand.
Never met.
Never have. But we're going to someday. We got to make that happen. So
Yes, sir.
we sure do. Randy lives out. Where do you tell the folks where you live, Randy, and a little bit about you?
Well, my wife and I live in La Pointe, Utah, where we have an outfitting business. And then we work a lot of mule teams, mostly this time of year during Christmas season, doing sleigh rides in Colorado. And then we also use those same mules in our outfitting business, packing into the backcountry, as pack mules and as riding mules. And then when we're not doing that, we also supply mule teams and wagons and stuff for the film industry, doing background wagon work and stunts and all that kind of stuff.
That's pretty awesome. So you're in Colorado now, right?
Me and Alicia are here until the first of the year. Then we'll go back to Utah.
All right. What will you do when you get back home?
When we get back home, we're in the middle of building a house right now, and then I'm going to be there until February. And then in February, I got to head to Buffalo, New York with some wagons and teams and mules and horses for a film we're doing up there.
Well, that'll be a trip.
Yeah, I've never been up there.
Well, you're in for a treat.
We're filming right there, I guess, by Niagara Falls and all that. And I know it's going to be cold, but I'm ready for it.
Are you going to go see Niagara Falls? You got to.
I'm planning on going to see that, and then I understand that you can actually take a ride on the Erie Canal there, and they're still pulling the barges with mules along the canal.
What about coming down south when you leave Buffalo and seeing us?
Well, that'll just depend on the time frame, and I know the movie is going to go at least 2 months, but that's definitely a good idea. I'll have a convoy of trucks, trailers, wagons, and all that stuff that'll be headed back to Utah, so we'll have to plan for that.
Is Phil Billy going with you?
Yes, he is. Phil Billy is coming from Missouri, and then other friends of mine, Dennis Moore and his crew, are coming from Blanco, Texas, and they're going to convoy up together.
How long have you been doing the movie thing?
Only about 15 years.
What was some of the movies you've worked on? Can you talk about that on here probably?
I'm sorry, that last part broke up a little bit.
Some of the movies you've worked on, can you tell the folks some of the movies you've been a part of?
Oh, sure. Let's see. We started out on a show called Underground, and then after that we had Fear Street and Killers of the Flower Moon, Horizon 1, 2, and 3, which 2 and 3 hasn't come out yet, just Horizon 1. And then I had Mules on 1923 last year. We did a film called 7 Days in August where I had 4-up mule hitch on a stagecoach for that one. The Chosen. We were on The Chosen. Our donkey was on that show. Coors commercial. Gosh, there's a lot more. I did an Australian film last year. That they filmed it in Utah. I had the mule team on that and a chuck wagon.
There's a big demand for that if you've got the stuff to do it and know what you're doing.
Yeah, the first time I ever had a team of mules on the movies, they they kind of got a black eye because a lot of people buy renegade mules or whatever or don't know how to handle them, but no one could believe how good and quiet my mules were. And so a lot of film companies shy away from mules because people don't have good broke mules, but our mules work for a living. They appreciate the word whoa.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
because 90% of the day on a movie set, you're just sitting around waiting, on set, and a lot of animals get impatient for that. But when I say whoa, most of my mules turn into statues.
What was it like working with Kevin Costner? I'm a huge fan of his. We watch all his stuff.
Kevin was awesome. Kevin honestly was probably hands down the best director I've ever been with. He understands the livestock and the demands on the Wrangler crew, and because he's a rider, and he likes mules. And I never once have ever seen Kevin lose his temper, get mad, or speak down to anyone. He's always super polite to everybody and treats the guy that cleans the toilets just as good as the lead actors.
That's something to say there. A lot of those guys, you wouldn't think they'd really be that way.
A lot of them ain't, but I've been lucky, to work with guys like him and with the good crews that I've been with.
As you all can tell by the way Randy's dressed there, he could have been born 150 years too late, maybe, or something. Tell us about them teeth hanging around your neck, Randy.
Well, actually, they're claws.
I can't see them that good. Yeah, there they are.
Yeah, bear claws, and there's a mountain lion claw on there that my wife killed, and elk teeth and elk ivories,
That's cool.
and some turkey spurs from Missouri.
What kind of hat are you wearing?
This is a custom-made hat. It's made by an old boy out of New Mexico, Herring. His name, Herring Hats.
Okay. That's a 5-inch brim?
I don't know. Is it?
Good.
Maybe even a 6-inch brim.
Wow. All right. Let's talk about your outfitting business some. I want the folks may be interested in hearing some of that, what you do in that and all that stuff.
So my wife's grandpa started the outfitting business back in the 70s, and she was with him her whole life. And then when he passed away, she took over running it. And we're based in Utah, and we're in the Uinta Mountains, which is the northern border of Utah between Utah and Wyoming. And we're in the Roadless Book Cliffs, which is just west of Grand Junction, Colorado, and on the Ashley.
Beautiful country.
Yeah, it is really pretty. It's really pretty country.
So you take folks on hunting trips, pack trips, you take them out on rides, whatever they want to do, really.
Hunting and fishing and trail rides.
Yep. How many mules are you running for that? You got a lot of horses too, I'm sure, but.
We actually have more mules than horses. We're right at 60 head right now.
Are you still raising a lot of colts?
We are. And we lost our jack 2 years ago, and he was a big mammoth jack, and he was throwing really big mule colts. And so we lost him to a very weird, rare kidney disease. Alicia got on the internet, and she found a jack in Houston, Texas. And so I jumped in the truck, drove down to Houston, and we bought this new jack, and he's coming. He's 2-year-old. He'll be 3 this spring, and we're going to be standing him for the first time, and he's huge. He's already 16 hands tall and still growing, and so we're thinking he's going to throw some big colts.
What color is he?
He's a solid kind of, the traditional gray with the dun stripes, and whereas Pepper Jack or other Jack, he was a Sabino Jack throwing the painted mules. So we're expecting to get, more duns and blacks and bays out of this new Jack.
That'll be a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we loved our old Jack. He was super gentle, threw really good, quiet colts, but he was throwing a lot of those, white mules with the white hooves that don't really stand up in the mountains as good as maybe a solid.
You mainly breeding quarter mares, or what are you mainly going to breed of your own?
We're breeding a little of everything. We got quarter mares, appy mares. We've got, what else? We got a Frisian cross mare that we got a colt out of, and he is really nice.
Wow.
Yeah, registered quarter mares. My goal is though I'd like to get a couple of Percheron mares to get some of these big giant mules like what I bought from you and our in my
Mandy
other
and Myrtle.
yeah like Mandy and Myrtle
I know where you
who
can
worked
get
all
those.
the. We took Mandy and Myrtle on a 10-mile trip yesterday up in the mountains with the wagon.
What's this about no snow in Colorado?
Boy, I tell you, I don't know. I've been doing the sleigh rides here ever since I got out of the Army in '06, and I've never not been able to run a sleigh by Thanksgiving. And we brought two sleighs with us and one wagon, and we had to go get another daggum wagon because there's no snow. I mean, we got snow up above us and off in the woods, but there's no snow in town or even in the meadows around here. It's been 50 degrees every day.
I had a couple calls yesterday of Colorado people wanting to buy wagons from me.
I'll be darned.
Need them now, not tomorrow. Now,
Because they're used to running sleighs and they don't have any wagons.
and they're going to lose a lot of income.
So luckily, I was fortunate enough. We brought a wagonette with us, a 12-person wagonette, and then I have some friends lived over in Hotchkiss that had one of them Pioneer wagons. And so I ran over and got it. And so we're getting by, but we sure wish we had some snow because I'd rather be running sleighs because a lot of people don't want a wagon ride. They want a sleigh ride.
It's going to be 60 degrees here on Christmas.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, we're talking, well, we had a snowstorm 2 weeks ago. It dumped about 1.5 feet of snow, and I ran the sleigh. And then 2 days later, it was 50 degrees, and it's been 50 degrees every day since.
What branch of the service was you in, Randy?
I was in the Army.
How many years?
15.
Wow. We're straight out of high school into the service?
Well, I joined the Army in 1992 and went into the 82nd Airborne and did all that high-speed stuff, jumping out of airplanes and doing that infantry mission there. And then I got out of the Army and then just cowboyed all over the country, rodeoing and working on ranches and stuff and outfitting and packing mules. And then after 9/11, when the war kicked off, I re-enlisted and went back in the Army.
So how many tours did you do? Did you just do the one to?
Well, my tour to Iraq was 1.5 years, so it really kind of counted as 2 tours. And then I was with the 1st Cavalry Division then. And then when I got back from Iraq, then I went to the 1st Cavalry Division Horse Attachment where my job was driving a 4-up mule hitch for the Army.
Well, that fits you good.
Yeah, it was a pretty good gig.
It was. Well, thank you for your service, Randy.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
It. Without you, we couldn't ride mules and pack mules and drive them, probably.
Yeah, I always tell people that thank you for being the kind of American we're serving for.
That's right. Yep. I appreciate it. What about the bells on the mule tail? Do you shave bells on your tails or not?
So I always have. Since I've always done that, but since I've started working in the movie business, I had to quit belling the mule's tail because of continuity purposes. Because, like example in Horizon, we had cavalry stuff, and I was pulling wagons, army wagons, as a cavalryman in Horizon. But then the same mules would be in another scene where they were just skidding logs with them or pulling a wagon in a wagon train or whatever. And if the mule's tails would have been belled, it would have messed up the continuity of the movie. So I've had to quit belling the mule's tails for now. Yeah, but I always did that.
If they come after you to be a character in a movie, would you do it?
Well, I have.
You have?
I have. I was a stagecoach driver last year in a movie called 7 Days in August where I didn't know I was going to be like casted until I was in Kansas, and I called the old boy up, the producer, and was talking to him, and he sent the script and all that, and I didn't know I had speaking lines until the day before. And my wife came up to me, Alicia said, you got lines. I said, no, I don't have lines. I'm not. Yep, here's your lines right here. So I stressed about that all the way there. But then the producer said, just look just look mad, aggravated, and act like you don't really care for these guys too much, and that was pretty easy to do.
So you wouldn't want to be the main character in a film.
No, I never. No, I've got a lot of friends that have done that, and it doesn't appeal to me at all. I'd rather just be driving my mules and hiding my face from the camera in the background. To me, the mules are the movie stars, not me.
When you go to these movies, you supply the wagons and all, don't you?
We do. So Alicia and I, we're really bad because we can't. It's hard. We see good wagons for sale, and we just want to give them a home, you know. And when we see these wagons, if they're a good, decent price, we'll travel all over the country buying them.
I know where two's at. I need to send you. You may want to go by.
Well, I got to make some more money first. We're in the middle of building a house.
I know how that is. That takes all your money, don't it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, 2 barns, a house, corrals, drilling a well, everything. Last year, Alicia and I, we bought a new piece of ground, and when we bought it, it was just raw ground. There wasn't anything on it. And so we started from scratch with fencing it and drilling wells and putting in cisterns and corrals and buildings and all that. And now we're down to building a house on it, and it sure puts a dent in the income.
Hey, was you born and raised right there where you're built, like around where you're living now?
No, actually, I was born in East Texas and grew up in southeast Missouri, back and forth between Texas and Missouri. And then my dad moved out here to Colorado when I was early teenager, and so then I started coming out here instead.
Where at in East Texas?
My dad was from Harris County.
Okay. We sell a lot of mules and horses in East Texas.
Yeah.
A lot. We're actually going to do a clinic there next year at Prefert again down at Mount Pleasant.
Okay.
Hoping to anyway, so.
But I like it down there in the wintertime. It's too blasted hot down there the rest of the year.
So is that how you met Phil, living in Missouri?
Yep, living in Missouri. I met Phil when I was probably 18, maybe.
Okay.
Right before, maybe younger than that. Before I joined the Army that I first met him.
He was a good guy. I really liked meeting him when he come picked up those mules.
He just left here this morning. Him and his wife Kathy came out here last week, and they've been here and picking music and having a good time. And
what do? You stay in a hotel while you're out there? Or they got a place for you to stay? Or
yeah, they've got us staying here at the Redstone Inn in Redstone, Colorado.
So they just pay you to come out and drive for them?
Well, it's kind of a partnership.
Okay.
They do the bookings and give us a place to stay and a place to keep our mules and run all the credit cards, and we just do the rides out of the inn.
That works good for you.
It does. It would be working a lot better for us if it would snow. A lot of people's canceled because of the lack of snow.
Do you ever see yourself doing your own thing, like up in Utah, rides like that?
Well, we've looked at it a lot. There's just really no place. There's no venues. What venues are pretty well hemmed up by other businesses doing, like over around Park City, Utah and stuff. There's a sleigh companies over there, but they're already there, you know. We looked at maybe going to Cody, Wyoming, or not Cody, Jackson, Wyoming, and doing a sleigh ride venue up there. But the place that we had to do it on was farther out away from Jackson. They got to drive right past the sleigh ride deal there where they feed the elk and stuff. So it's kind of hard to find a niche to do the sleigh rides. You've got to have an area that is pretty, lots of snow, and then be close to like a ski area or something like that draws tourists in the wintertime.
Didn't you ride saddle broncs?
Did. I started riding. What's that?
I thought you told me that before.
Yeah, I started riding saddle bronc horses before I joined the Army. You know, I was still in high school when I started into rodeo, and I didn't quit riding broncs till I turned 40.
You rode them a long time.
Years. Yeah, I was pretty worthless for a big section of my life. All I could think about was getting on the next bucking horse.
So do you still ride a few bucking horses every now and then? Or
not if I can help it.
You don't try it?
No, at 52 years old, I've had a lot of injuries over the years, and now I don't, if it's going to buck, I don't want on it because I can't afford to get hurt.
Yeah, true. So you start your mules right so you don't have to worry about them bucking.
We want them from the day they're born. We're messing with them. We have a gal that works with us. Her name's Jo, and she messes with those babies every day, and by the time it's time to start riding them, they've been packed for a season. And so most time it's just stepping on them and riding off.
Isn't that the girl me and my wife met when we dropped off the mules?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I've met everybody but you, Randy.
Oh, ain't that funny? Yeah, and Joe's here with us in Colorado driving teams and stuff, and we're just unfortunately not as busy as we'd like to be.
I never met Alicia either, though. I can't forget about her. I've not met her either.
Yeah, we're always off doing something.
I think I actually sold her the first team of mules, not you. I think so.
Duke and Daisy?
Yeah, I think so. I think she's the one who bought them, I think. She called about them first and stuff, if I remember right.
Did we buy Laverne and Shirley?
Laverne and Shirley, yeah.
Yeah, we still got them too. They're doing good.
You still use them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and they've been in movies, them too. In fact, Laverne and Shirley were casted on Horizon as one of the main actors' mules. Yeah, they were really good because they were so quiet and gentle that even an actor that never seen a horse up close was able to drive them.
Now, Duke, wasn't he on Killers of the Flower Moon?
No.
Mandy and Myrtle or what?
No, neither of them were. We didn't have Laverne and Shirley during Killers, did we? No. No, we had Kit and Kat on Killers, and then I had a bunch of other mules that we bought in Minnesota.
Okay. What was it like to work with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Leo was really nice. He was really nice and easy to get along with. He had to ride a horse in that movie, and he had never ridden a horse before. When you see him on a horse in The Revenant, that's all CGI.
Okay.
And so he was a little scared of riding, but we got him out there on the horse and got him away from all the people and everything. And I looked over, and he was, all clutched up on the saddle, holding on the saddle horn. And I said, Leo, I said, you don't look good on a horse. And he looked at me and he said, you're my guy. You're my guy. He said, you tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. I said, just relax. When the horse he was on was gentle. I mean, gentle. And he finally settled down and relaxed and rode and it did good. And the one scene where he was a horseback, he pulled it off pretty good.
We want to do this podcast be in memory of your buddy that passed away. What was his name?
John Mello?
Yes. He passed away right during all that, didn't he?
While we were working on Horizon, he passed away.
Yep, I remember when that happened.
Yeah, that was a tough one for all of us. John was top-notch fella. He did. What's funny is John didn't like mules when we met, and every time he was around our mules, he would drive them but still yet I don't like mules, but he liked our mules.
Let me ask you this question: why mules?
They hold up better. They're smarter. They're stronger. They're less maintenance. When we're paired up with people with draft horses, the mules outwork them hands down. We can work them mules every day, all day long. And those horses, they need 2 or 3 days sometimes to recover from one day of working. Whereas our mules, they just keep going. They don't drop weight, and they never sour up.
I know what you're saying. It's just easy.
And in the mountains for the packing, if we got a string of 8 or 9 mules all strung out behind us with the loads and stuff, and we don't got to even look back. But if you got 1 or 2 horses in the mix, they're always wrapping around trees, stepping over their lead ropes, running their packs into trees and stuff. And the mules don't do that. We don't have to worry about the mules. The horses are always getting into trouble.
There you go, folks. Take it from a guy that uses them every day.
Yeah. I mean, I like horses, don't get me wrong. I mean, without horses, you can't have mules.
Yeah, that's true. But without the donkey, you really can't have the mule.
That's true. Now, for our cow work, I haven't found a mule yet that is really good on the cattle. We had one that he was awesome on cows. You could tie down on him. You could run off and rope a calf way over there. You could drag a cow in a horse trailer with him. You could cut with him, everything. But then he broke in two and bucked my wife off up in the mountains and broke her femur.
For some reason, I remember hearing that happen too.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
How many cattle do you run? You run cattle too, I guess.
Well, we run cows on the Green River in Utah. We turn out the cattle Mother's Day weekend, and they range all the way till the last week of October, and then we bring them home.
We got a Green River here in Liberty, Kentucky, too.
I've driven across that before.
That's the river that runs out through here. That's the same. It ain't the same river, I don't think.
No, not the same one.
I wouldn't think anyway. But Lordy day. Someday I'm going to meet you. We're going to hang
Yeah,
out.
I'm looking forward to that.
I want to get out west for some time. We're doing a clinic in Billings in June.
Billings.
Yep. Outside of Billings and Shepherd.
Okay. Yeah, we filmed 1923 up there.
Okay. Then we're doing a clinic in San Diego, California, and so right on close to the beach there.
Wow. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be. I was in Utah in September.
Yeah, I remember talking to you, but we were on the mountain guiding hunts.
I was in Beaver and Cleveland.
Okay. That's south of us.
Yeah. Yeah, you're up north.
Yeah, we're almost in Wyoming.
I've been there, don't forget.
Yeah, oh, that's right, yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, at our place.
So there, how far is your new place from that place I was at?
It's about 20 miles northeast of there.
Okay. So you're still keeping that place I went to as well?
No, we just sold it. We sold it right in the middle of hunting season. The gal that is our realtor, she texted us on a satellite texter and said the place that she had a buyer. So then she had to drive up the trailhead, and Alicia and I rode out from camp and signed the paperwork on the tailgate of the pickup. She drove off the mountain, and we had to go back into camp. And Joe and her mom ran the camps. Well, we had to go back home and move everything. And we had to move everything in less than a week.
So during hunting season, you go into camp. How long do you stay in the camp?
Well, it depends. Some of the camps were in for weeks and weeks without coming out. That particular camp, we'd been up there since August, and that camp's in until we start our elk hunts down in the Book Cliffs. So we're up there sometimes we're in a wall tent for over 200 nights out of a year.
That's not bad, though. Them wall tents are pretty comfortable, ain't they?
Well, we love them.
You get used to it, I guess.
Yeah, when you come down off the mountain, it's hard to get used to not being in camp.
I guess it would be after being in it that long. For sure, it kind of feels like home, I guess.
It does. It really does.
So can people book a hunt with you? You guide hunts for people?
Yes, we're Flying J Outfitters is the name of our outfitting business, and we do all big game species in the state of Utah.
You should tell the folks how to get a hold of you in case somebody's listening to this podcast that might want to book a hunt with you.
The website is flyingjoutfitters.com.
All right. And you take them on mules on the hunt.
You'll ride a mule into camp, and then some of the hunts you're hunting on foot from camp, and other hunts you're riding out on a mule or a horse every day from camp.
What's your favorite thing to hunt?
Well, for me personally, we enjoy hunting predators. My wife and I both like hunting bears and mountain lions and wolves and stuff like that. My dream hunt is a buffalo hunt where we do our elk hunts in the Book Cliffs. There's the largest herd of free-ranging, truly wild buffalo in North America are in there. And we take people buffalo hunting, although I haven't actually gotten to draw the tag myself yet.
So you've been on plenty of buffalo hunts. You just haven't got to kill one.
That's correct.
How do you draw a tag? You just have to apply for it or what?
You got to apply for it, and your best chance of getting one is to be a non-resident.
Well, move somewhere else for a little bit and apply.
That's not a bad idea.
We just sold a team of mules. I don't know if you've seen them or not. They was online. That nice pair of sorrel mules we just sold. 16.
Yeah.
Mules.
Yeah, they were good-looking mules.
I sold them to a bison ranch in Kansas, and they have buffalo and they have hunts. And you can book a hunt with them, and they're going to use those mules to haul the buffalo back in from the out on the plains.
Man, that is cool.
That's going to be they've never done it before. They're going to try it, so they're going to see how it goes anyway.
Well, that is cool. I really think that's awesome. I would like to meet those guys.
Yeah, they was super nice people. I never met them either. I just, it's crazy. Like so many of the customers we sell, you a prime example. I've never met them face to face. We sell so many customers I never even talked to.
Well, talking about it being a small world, I had a gal the other day contacted me down in Georgia. Mm-hmm. Her name's Melissa, and she was looking to go drive a quail wagon down there, and she called me, wanted to know if I knew anything about that. I was like, well, yes, I do. I drove a quail wagon in Georgia many years ago, and so I knew a little bit about it, and we were talking. And I said, where did you get the mules from? And she said, oh, it's a guy named Haste. I was like, I know him well. I said, you need to call him and find out about these mules before you go to driving them, and how they're going to maybe act around gunfire and all the noise and chaos of people shooting at coveys of quail.
She listened to you because she called me. She sure did. I worked
Yeah,
with her.
she told me they were going to be driving them with just snaffle bits. I was like, no, you better put something in there you can get the whoa Nelly on them with, because if you don't know how they're going to act when them quail flush in front of them and the dude starts shooting shotguns, I said you might want something a little more than a snaffle bit.
We sell a lot of teams to quail preserves.
I had a ball doing it. We really had a good time down there. It was a gentleman's hunt, and man, we'd drive the wagon along through there, and then the birdman would say, "All right, right here," we'd stop and let the dogs out of the wagon. They'd go on point and they'd shoot some quail, and then they'd load up back, and then they'd ride a little bit, and then we'd stop and they'd have some brandy or get served some cheese and crackers and stuff like it. Was something else. I'd never been on anything like that before.
Do you use the wagon in your outfitting business?
We do wagon rides up at Moon Lake, and so people come up there and they stay up at the Moon Lake Resort and Lodge up there, and then they go hiking and horseback riding and stuff like that, and then we take them on a wagon ride around the lake.
So you're kind of like me. You're making a living with mules and horses, but we're doing it two different ways.
Yes, sir.
But it can be a challenge sometimes.
It really is.
It is. A lot of people don't understand the challenge of making a living with equine. They really don't.
No, and people that are looking to buy mules, they don't want to pay much for them, and they don't understand that to buy a good quality mule, whether it's a riding mule or a driving team or whatever, if they're cheap, there's a reason for that.
I always say, good mules ain't cheap, and cheap mules ain't good.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there.
And I learned that from experience.
Yeah, it's if a mule team is cheap, they're not going to be very good, or they're going to be crippled, or there's going to be something wrong with them.
And last year, I second my own mind sometimes. Last year we got to looking for mule teams. They're so hard to find, to buy and sell, man. They're not out there. That's why we're having to sell so many draft horses, because the mule teams, they just ain't out there to buy.
No, because people, once they get a good team of mules, they usually don't want to sell them.
Well, I told my wife, we need mules. We need mules. Find me some. Get on somewhere and find some. So she got on Facebook and found a team of mules in Mississippi. Well, I loaded up, went to Mississippi. You talk about went down there to buy mules. I ain't going to mention no names. But the place I went to buy the team, he told me all this and that, and I didn't know. I just bought them. I said, what do you want for them? He said $3,500 for the pair. I should have knew better. It was little mules, 14 hands. I couldn't find nothing else, so I brought them home. When I was leaving, he said, you want to look at more mules here in this area? I said, yeah, I'm going to. I'm trying to find some, because I wanted to fill the whole trailer,
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, I told him this one guy I was going to look at, he was a preacher. And another guy I was going to look at was a cop. And he told me, he said, you better watch them two. Now, he said, they're crooks. I said, all right, I'll watch them, buddy. I loaded them mules up. I go to this first guy. I went to the cop first. I looked at his mules. He had them. He wanted $20,000 for them. And they was nice, big mules, 17-hand blonde Molly mules. I said, how old are they? Oh, 10, 11, 12. I went out there and pried that mouth open. And if I could make them 10, they was 10 times 3. Like old.
Yeah.
Told him, I said, no, I can't do it. He said, where'd you buy that mules in the trailer? I said, oh, this guy over here. I told him his name. He said, oh, you can't trust that guy. He's a crook. I said, oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. I said, I didn't know. I said, well, I'm going to go see the preacher now. I done seen it all. I just got done seeing the cop. Now I'm going to go see the preacher. He said, oh, I know the preacher. I'm going to go with you. So I followed him to the preacher's house. And we got there, and the preacher wasn't home. He's preaching a funeral. Well, his wife come out. And she had a jack down in the field way off. And I said, what's that jack down there? She said, "Oh, that's a 5-year-old Jack. He won't breed a mare. He's Jenny spoiled. He ain't no good."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Okay, well," I said, "where's your husband?" She said, "He just texted. He'll be here in a few minutes." He come flying in there, got out in his suit and tie from that funeral. And I said, "What about that Jack down there? What do you want for him?" He said, "Oh, he's just coming too. He's starting to breed mares right now." And I said, "Okay, that's nice." I didn't say a word. I just shook his hand, shook both their hands, and he came over to me and he said, "Where'd you get that pair of mules in the trailer?" I said, "From this guy over the road here." He said, "You can't trust him. He's a crook." And I thought to myself, if all these people, this was a Facebook deal. I
Uh-huh.
found them on Facebook. I thought to myself, if all these people go through all this every time they try to buy mules on Facebook, I'm glad we do the right thing and try to help people, because I would not want to do it.
It's a nightmare. It is a nightmare. We got in a jackpot like that here a while back. My wife found 2 mules in Tennessee, and they were little spotted mules. They weren't very big, and kid broke mules, and they sent us a video of these 2 kids riding them mules. And then he sent us a picture of a great big wagon hooked up to those 2 mules. And they were crossing some creek, and they looked good. I mean, they were nice looking little mules, jam up, and because we were needing more pack mules and riding mules, and then plus it'd be a bonus if they worked. And we paid this guy. He hauled them out there to the ranch, and they might have been kid broke, but not my kids. They were
That's what I
not.
tell people. They ask me if a mule or a horse, even a horse, is it kid broke? I always say, I don't know. There's different types of kids.
Yeah.
And that's
Now,
the truth.
Now, when I was a little kid, they'd been fine for me, but they knew we were looking for dude mules,
That's
and
right.
they said, "Oh yeah, they'd be fine for that." No,
Yeah.
no way, and no way. And then so I hooked them up, and when I hooked them up, you could tell they were soured up bad because they didn't want to drive in a straight line. They took off running sideways, run into the barn. When you try to ground drive them, they would just flip around in the harness and face you, and then take off running. They they were not, and it was probably because they had that big wagon on them and used them a little bit with too much weight, and they were soured up from it. That's what I figure.
So now you're just trying to raise all your own pack mules, really, ain't you?
We're trying to, and we are for the most part. We've got a bunch of young mules that we've got going under pack saddles and trying to get started under saddle. And I would like to get some of them under harness coming up pretty soon here.
What's your ideal size pack mule in the mountains from a guy that does it? What's your favorite size pack mule?
We like not them great big belt like that size of Laverne and Shirley we got from you. They're not great big, but they're not little either. Mostly because you don't want to hang loads on big tall mules. It's hard, lifting them loads up there.
So you
So
do
I
like
just say a standard size mule.
you like a draft cross mule though for packing.
They hold up better.
Yeah.
They hold up better. They got the bigger, heavier bone, and they're generally calmer and more quiet.
Are you a sawbuck guy or a decker guy?
We are mostly sawbuck people. We have a few decker saddles and we use them, but the sawbucks do better
Why?
because we pannier pack,
Okay.
and so I mean we throw hitches, we manny our loads down and throw double diamonds and stuff on them. But with the decker, you're strictly having to decker your loads, and make your tootsie rolls and hang them. And people that decker pack usually have the day before to get them loads ready, and we're going to the trailhead and meeting hunters at the trailhead. They're unloading their gear, and we're getting them loaded and down the trail. And sawbuck style packing is just a lot better for that. It's a lot faster.
Because you have to pack in hay for all these, or they just graze. You hobble and graze or high line.
We hobble and graze, but we do pack in grain.
You pack in a lot of grain then.
We do.
So yeah, you got all your grain, food for everybody for the time you're going to be there. Supplies.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we've got to have. We usually pack in sometimes up to 2, even 3 weeks worth of food sometimes on one trip, and then we got to go back up and resupply the meat and stuff like that weekly.
You mentioned earlier you sold your place and you got a satellite text. Is that what you all rely on, communication out there, satellite text?
We've got, yeah, it's, what's it called? InReach.
Okay.
Yeah, and it just links up to your phone and you text through your phone through that satellite texter.
Can you talk on it too?
No, sir. No, it's strictly texting. We've tried satellite phones back here in the backcountry, and they just don't work good. You've got to talk really fast, and you lose the signal quick because them canyons that we're in are narrow, and so you don't have as much time to acquire a satellite and talk. And sometimes to have a 20-minute conversation takes 10 or 11 phone calls.
Why don't you try the Starlink Mini, the new Starlink?
We actually had one in camp during the spike elk hunt. Some of our clients actually brought it to camp with them, and it actually worked really good.
It does.
But you got to have a power source for it. But not only that, we kind of like being unplugged on the mountain. We kind of like not having our cell phones. To me, that's part of the nice part of being back there is not having your cell phone go off every 5 seconds.
But running a business, ain't it hard to get your calls and stuff?
It can be. It can be. The messenger thing on the satellite, we can handle most everything we need to do on that. And then sometimes during our hunt, we'll get up into high country where we get a cell signal, and then we can make some phone calls and get logistical stuff took care of. But mostly what we do is our support units that bring us food and resupplies and stuff like that, we just have set times that we know that they're going to be at the trailhead when we get up there.
Now, in these camps and stuff, are you supplying the music for the people too, or?
Sometimes we do. So Phil, he'll come into camp and bring a guitar or a fiddle, and then my wife Alicia, she plays a guitar too, and we'll have pickings. Pardon?
Do you play?
I can play the radio pretty good.
That works. I mean, if that's all you got to play, you can play that.
No, I'm the song list.
Okay, you just tell them what to perform.
Yeah, I'm the song list.
Oh, Lord. Well, Randy, it's good to sit here and talk to you for 45 minutes.
Yes, sir. It sure was.
I appreciate you. Say anything else you want to mention while you're on here to the viewers out there?
Not that I can think of.
Any good word of advice for future mule trainers?
Patience.
Patience.
Gotta be patient and work them. They don't learn anything standing in the pasture.
That's the truth. That's the truth. That's a lot of most people's mistake.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you all for listening. Randy, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, and have a Merry Christmas.
You too. And thank Alicia for helping us get hooked up here.
I will.
Guys, check Randy out on his website. What was it again?
FlyingJOutfitters.com.
If you want to book a hunt or something like that, he'll help you. We recommend him 100%.
We'll take them on a fishing trip in the summertime or a hunting trip in the fall.
And also, when you're watching some of these movies, maybe look for him.
Yep. That's kind of hard to miss this ugly mug.
Guys, thank you. God bless you. And stay tuned for the next episode of Harness Up with Haste Draft Horses and Mules. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. God bless you. And we thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Take care.
As another captivating episode of Harness Up with Haste Draft Horses and Mules draws to a close, we extend our sincere gratitude to our listeners for joining us on this enlightening journey. We hope today's discussions have deepened your appreciation and understanding of these magnificent creatures. Remember, the adventure continues beyond this podcast. Stay connected with us on social media and share your stories. For more information and to explore further, visit drafthorses&mulesforsale.com. Thank you for being part of our community. Until next time, keep harnessing your curiosity and passion for these God-given creatures. Farewell for now.